Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about the April 26th or 27th, depending on your geographic location, 2021 New Moon in Scorpio, part 2 of 2. And what I want to get at, start off with now, as far as, the house it falls in, look at the house that this transit falls in, because of course that could impact the delineation and interpretation. And in my case, mine is going to fall in the sixth house. Now, um, I really hope this doesn't manifest in being cognizant of having the COVID-19. Remember that Scorpio is the zodiac sign connected with viruses, um, and which can include COVID. And the thing about it is, interestingly enough, I have a doctor's appointment on the 27th. But see, the thing is, the Scorpio, is going. This transit will be falling in my sixth house of health. And the thing is, it's not when this transit occurs for me. It's not going to be far from the exact. Um, you could say the exact opposition of the moon to the sun, which is, of course, is the exact would be the exact position of the full moon, super full moon, I should say. But at the same time, this could also be expressed with me. It could. Um, I have to be careful because this could manifest in something a little more than just say like a minor groin pain. If it was just a regular full moon, that's how it might be expressed. But the thing is, it might be a time where maybe I just become more aware that I need to make a major transformation with my health. So it's something that I still need to be wary of on that day. But at the same time, it's also important to look at the aspects that this transit makes to points in your chart. Is this, of course, could impact the delineation and interpretation as well. Now, in my case, it's going to be making a trine to my natal sun in Cancer, which is a good aspect. Of course, this could manifest in being more aware and cognizant of, and really having a realization of doing something with the occult. Supernatural. Well, in this case, it would include can include astrology, which it would be for me. But in something that would be work related, being in the sixth house, or maybe completing something astrological that was work related for me at this time. And it could also having the blending of the focus of the sun, and doing so with much dedication and devotion, which of course is associated with the zodiac sign Cancer. And and it really, and it's something where at the same time, and it's also looking at this transit as well. It shows that um, it can also be expressed in the subconscious need, which is the moon, to go beyond subterfuge and superficiality, which is Scorpio. That could blend very well with the conscious, which is the sun, and being aware of the subtle ways that others can communicate, because that is Cancerian energy. And the thing about it is, this is something you're looking at. It's also important at this time to look at the degree that it's in. Of course, it's going to be at 7 degrees Scorpio. Now, as far as saving symbols go, this might intensify anger and animosity toward another due to a person having more than he or she may have, such as it could be material possessions, a monetary situation, their stature in life, as some examples. And it could also, in some cases, could amplify infidelity in some isolated cases. Now, it not necessarily through the person that has the transit, but it could be, say, if it's in the seventh house, it could be through a marriage partner. The fifth house could be some kind of lover or romantic, somebody you're in a romantic situation with. It could also be um, on the positive end, being at 7 degrees Scorpio. This may also be expressed and gaining more apt to gain accolades or recognition in connection with this super full moon in Scorpio transit. It could be through, Scorpio endeavor. I mean, it could be something with the occult, which includes astrology or locksmithing. You know, doing work as it could be a coroner or investigator or forensics. Something with recycling, transformation, anything that could be Scorpio related. And also time, it's also important to look at other transits to points in your chart at the time of the super full moon in Scorpio, as they could be intensified and amplified since they're occurring at the same time of this transit. Now, I'm going to have the transit north node in Gemini make a fairly close conjunction to my natal moon in Gemini in the mercurial sign of Gemini. So of course that could manifest in a multitude of ways. That could be something where there might be some destiny, something that might feel preordained in terms of a short journey. It might be due to some restlessness. The moon can be connected with restlessness in the restless sign of Gemini, and Gemini is the sign connected with short journeys. Moon is also associated with the home. Gemini is short journeys and could be restlessness. So it could be a time of being more aware, maybe of making a change of residence through a short journey. And at the same time as well, it's also important to look at the electional aspects that are going to take place when the transit, at this time that the supermoon is going to make at this time, as that could impact the interpretation and delineation as well. Now, of course, this transit of the super full moon, it's going to be opposing the sun in Taurus, and the sun in Taurus and the full moon in Scorpio, of course, they're going to be opposite each other. That those points are going to be both squared by Saturn in Aquarius, which of course makes a fixed T-square configuration. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, and the thing about this is, like in my case, this is going to be, the trend, it's going to be in my sun transit. Sun Taurus will be my 12th house. The moon in Scorpio transit will be in my 6th. The Saturn in Aquarius will be in my 10th house. So for me, this may manifest in having that oppositional adversarial energy between the moon and the sun, which would be about the peace and stability, which is Taurus, in my private life, and also as far as my mental health may go, which is associated with the 12th house, opposing what I may need, which is the moon, maybe making a major change or transformation, which is Scorpio, in my work life, employment life, which is in the sixth house, of course, now, and that's being squared, and the point that squares the opposition in a fixed T-square configuration is that point of overemphasis and over accentuation. Mine being this transit of Saturn Aquarius in the 10th house could be through maybe furthering some astrological career, and doing so and gaining also maybe helping with the stature in life being in the 10th house, and social status being and maybe gaining some more notoriety or recognition as a result of it. So that is how, as far as in my example, how it may manifest and pan out. But a lot of these transits, of course, are going to be something where it's going to affect everybody differently, of course, because everybody's going to have in different house and making different aspects to points in one's chart, and those things obviously have to be factored in as to whether this is more auspicious, or it might be a little bit more negative. It makes predominantly good aspects to points in one's chart. It could be more favorable and auspicious, but it makes a lot of adverse aspects, and it might be a little bit harder to deal with, of course. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.